Hello and welcome to Totango. We're very excited to have you. Totango is the leading enterprise CS platform where we encourage and empower our customers to drive adoption, retention, churn analysis, and so much more so that you can act proactively with your customers. This video is focused on the daily workflow of a success manager. So let's jump in. My job as a success manager is to nurture, retain, and grow my customers and help them achieve their own business goals. I can best do that when I'm fully aware of everything happening with my accounts. The home page in Totango is My Portfolio. You'll see on the right there's a summary of all of my accounts as well as a breakdown of how I'm doing. On the left are several tabs that enable me to prioritize my work with my customers. First is the Notifications tab. This is the early warning system in Totango where I can see all of the relevant changes that have happened with my account since the last time I logged in. I can filter through by different notification types, success flows, or activity types. I can sort or search by account. I recommend that you work each day towards inbox 0, just like you do in your email. When you do, you can simply mark them as read by clicking the check mark. You could pin them to your attention or remove from your virtual bulletin board, or you could take action by either adding a task to be done later. So in this case, let's say follow up on login decline. And I'm going to log this as the type escalation. I'll assign it to the appropriate individual, either myself or another team member, give it high priority in this case, and set a due date. When I do, the assignee would be notified in her own notification center. The work would appear in her agenda, as well as on the account profile itself. Or maybe I don't want to wait. Maybe I'd like to take action right now, and I'm going to call the customer on the phone. When I do, I'll log the touch point so I and the rest of my team have full visibility into the history of our engagement with the customer. Spoke with Sunil regarding login decline. Plan in place. When I save that touch point, it's been added for historical purposes and reference to the account profile page itself. Let's take a look at the Agenda tab. Here, I can prioritize my work with my customers. Everyone works differently, and I encourage you to take a look at the various filters at the top of the agenda so you can find which prioritization method works best for you. You can see here that I've been assigned some tasks with my accounts. This particular customer is delayed in onboarding and I need to take some action. Let's say I've completed my task. I can go through and log the touch point. Back on track, no longer delayed. I'll save that touch point and my task is marked as completed. I mentioned that the Attention tab is your virtual bulletin board where you can keep accounts that need to be kept top of mind. You also have a personal folder where you can easily access your segments. Let's take a look at an account profile. All of the information you have about your customers is brought into one convenient location in the account profile page. At the top, I can see the name of the account as well as the account type. Directly below, there's a breadcrumb style hierarchy showing me the product, the line of business, the region, and the account itself. Now, this is unique to each customer of Totango, so yours may be a little bit different here. The account profile header shows me all of the key information about my account. If I'm looking for more details and more data points, I could scroll all the way to the bottom to the master widget, select the Information tab, and find all of the data points we have about the customer. The status widget shows me the latest activity on each success flow. Here I can see customer health, as well as a history of their health and the criteria used to determine it. I can see value metrics and relevant KPIs for the customer. And depending how you've set up your Totango instance, many other data sources as well. In this example, we show support, feature requests, and NPS. I can also see all of the open work to be done, the open tasks for each customer on their profile. I can see the timeline, the history of engagement we've had with the customer. I can use the account assignment widget to show me which team members of mine are playing what role with the customer. I can track the key points of contact for my customers. And as a best practice, I can store any customized materials I've created for the customer here in the assets. I can upload the file from several sources and store it for easy reference. At the top left, I'm going to use the menu navigation icon to navigate around Totango. I could return back to my portfolio, navigate among my success blocks depending what I'm doing, or console. Let's take a look at a success block. A success block is your one-stop shop for hitting any of the CS goals your team is driving towards. We provide you the visibility to see whether or not you're hitting your goals in the scorecard, as well as all of the tools you need to do it. You can use segments in your success block to slice and dice your data in any way you choose. You can use one that's been populated for you by another team member or create your own. Let's take a look at those customers of mine who've completed their onboarding. I could add more filters in here if I wanted to, by many different dimensions and data points. I can also change the view depending what I'm trying to do. So I can look at this list view. I can also use the progress view. Progress view is particularly helpful when I'm in a meeting with my team and we'd like to update each other on the status of what's happening with our customers. So, hey Amit, is Apex Certify still in integration? Actually, they started UAT this morning, and I can actually change it right then and there and get my work done with my team. I can use the timeline view, which shows me of these accounts in this segment, the most recent activity. But what's more, I can take action. So let's say I see that this customer, we sent them a survey. I'd like to run a play. I'm going to run a success play. I know that they're in adoption now that they've completed their onboarding, and I'm going to work to increase their adoption at this point. I'm looking in my SuccessPlays, my playbook of best practices, so I know what steps to take when certain situations arise. I can see these tasks, I could adjust them as I need, and run the play. When I do, the tasks have been created and assigned to the appropriate team members. And finally, in the segments, we have our work view. This is a great place for you to see the open tasks or completed, depending on your filters, for the accounts in this segment. And again, take action as needed. We also have reports, which allow you to see the historical trends over time for the accounts in this particular initiative. The Assets section is a wonderful resource for you to use standardized materials. You want everyone on your team using the same kickoff template for onboarding, and this is where everyone knows that they can find it. I mentioned SuccessPlays are your library of best practices. You can run a success play manually, as I just demonstrated, using that playbook, or SuccessPlays can also run automatically when certain situations arise with your customers. Your administrator has set this up. And finally, your administrator is also running one-to-many email communications using campaigns, helping your customers receive more relevant touch points more often. I can also use this menu navigation to go to my executive console. I could visit customer health, which allows me to slice and dice my customer data in even more ways. The revenue center is where I can use Totango to forecast retention and churn. I can use the team spotlight to see how I'm spending my time with my customers. And depending how you've brought in your product usage information, you can see live product updates and what your customers are doing within the product. Thank you so much for joining us. If you ever have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Your CSM is your best resource, as well as our support and our community. We encourage you to join our customer community where you can discuss CS tips and tricks and best practices with other professionals like you. Thanks again, and welcome to Totango.